Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Psycho, and I've got another Walking Dead video for you all today, and this one is going to be over the subject of Norman Reedus says the Walking Dead cliffhanger resolution is well worth the wait. In addition, he also responds to some fan anger over the cliffhanger, and this is an interview with IGN, and I'll link it down below. Before I get into this, I just want to say that I have recently created an official Your Boy Psycho Walking Dead Facebook page. I'll link that down below as well, so please make sure to go over there and like it if you want to stay tuned to some of the things that I don't really announce on this channel, but it's smaller things that I can announce on Facebook, and just give some of my thoughts in addition. Now let's get right into this review. Eric Goldman from IGN states, I asked Reedus if he was looking forward to fans getting the resolution to that cliffhanger, and he replied, yeah, I mean, the truth of that is very precious to us, what we're doing, and it's our thing we're doing out in the woods. It would almost be doing it a disservice to us to go around blabbing about it, because we put so much work into it, and it's so personal to us that we almost don't want to talk about it too much, because it's private and personal, and you'll see it. Reedus added, it's well worth the wait, that cliffhanger, I will say that. This season that we're doing now is going to answer every question, and it's well worth the wait. Well worth the wait. As for those who dislike the cliffhanger Reedus marked, well, I mean, everyone's got an Instagram and a Facebook and a Twitter, and everybody wants to know everything right now. We deserve to know everything right now. You know, cliffhangers have been happening ever since television started, and I like that there's so much enthusiasm for this show. Everybody's so invested in it, and we are too, but you make art sometimes to start conversation, and having people talk about what you did is kind of a compliment no matter what they're saying. So, I get it. I mean, I like watching television and being pissed off and wanting to throw something through the TV too, but that's part of the excitement. I like that kind of thing. So I'll say it again, it's well worth the wait. You'll get it, and you may wish that you... laughs. You know what I mean. Sometimes you want things to happen, you don't want things to happen, and they happen, and you're like, damn. So you know, just be ready. The interview ends right here, but what Norman Reedus basically said is that he still takes up for the cliffhanger, but he understands why some people are angry about it. However, that's kind of the point considering it is a cliffhanger. So he's basically like, it's an emotional moment. I get it. Now, I am going to give Norman Reedus some props with this. He at least says that he understands why we're angry. That's similar to what Denai Guerrera said in one of her interviews. That's probably my favorite interview with reactions to fan anger, just because Denai handled it so well, and she talked about how she understood us as fans. So it's nice to see them at least saying we understand why you're angry, but saying that is the point doesn't really make sense to me. A cliffhanger is not to get someone angry, in my opinion. It's one of those things that gets you really excited and wondering for a very long time what is going to happen. However, a cliffhanger is done a certain way. A cliffhanger is something that is introduced to add some mystery, but there's also other things going on that still give you that satisfaction of closure. However, with this cliffhanger, I feel like they could have dealt with it better than the way they did. If it had to be a cliffhanger finale, which almost every Walking Dead finale is, that's not a bad thing. In the past, I've really enjoyed a lot of the cliffhangers, especially in episode 416 titled A. I thought that was an amazing cliffhanger with them in the train cart. But the thing about this one is, it felt like it already went past that barrier for it being a cliffhanger, such as, if this had to be a cliffhanger, I feel like the best place to put that cliffhanger would have been right after Negan says, hi, I'm Negan, or something like that. I know a lot of fans would have still been angry with that, but I probably would have been fine with that. Just because it's not like they're giving us a beautiful hamburger, they're putting it in her mouth, and then bam, they rip it right out of her mouth and say, yeah, you can have that 6 months later. I've already expressed my aggravation with this cliffhanger in other videos, so I don't want to just keep going on about it. I said with Robert Kirkman's apology about the cliffhanger that I'm just going to let it die a little bit, but I'm still going to talk about it some, but I'm just going to let them back up their words with the Season 7 premiere. I don't want this to seem like a diss on Norman Reedus though, because as an actor or actress or anyone involved with the show, you know these people have to be extremely proud of what they contributed to this show. So you feel like you basically have to defend it, and I completely understand that. It's just one of those things where these people just grind day in and day out, put in blood, sweat, and tears, and they work so hard. So I don't feel like they had a lot of control over whether this cliffhanger would happen, so you can't really blame it on the actors or actresses. And of course I can understand why they would want to defend this show. That being said, I understand why Norman Reedus is defending this cliffhanger, but moving back on over to the idea of having the cliffhanger right after Negan says, "Hi, I'm Negan," the reason for that would be that there still would be some build-up occurring, and when we jumped back into it with the Season 7 premiere, it would start out with some talking, and then the Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo, and then the Negan soundtrack in the background with a rattling, that building everything up, so you would have some prior build-up occurring there, and instead of it just starting right off with him bashing in someone's head, it gives you a lot of build-up, and it adds that tension a little bit more than what we would have right now. So I personally believe that would be at least a decent moment to start the cliffhanger. In other forms of media where we have had a cliffhanger, it feels like it was dealt with a lot differently than The Walking Dead dealt with this cliffhanger. To me, it feels like a cliffhanger is a lot about timing. I feel like it was the fact that the cliffhanger literally occurred right in the mid-action of things. That's what really made the fans mad, in my opinion. In addition to not showing the death, it's the idea of it happening right in the action, and it would have only taken a few more seconds or even a minute to show the result of that. Most of the cliffhangers that I've seen before was, of course, like Lost. You saw the hatch, you didn't know what was in the hatch, but it wasn't like, holy shit, I've got to know this now, screw you guys. It was more of a mystery thing going on. The way this was kind of handled, it just felt incomplete. It felt like something had been chopped up that was originally meant to come together all in one for a perfect scene. I know I'm going on once again, so that's just my thoughts. I wanted to deliver some of my opinions in addition to this little interview. I do want to give them props for at least saying they understand why we feel this way and stuff, but I wish I could have explained perfectly of how I feel and just had the right words of what I completely believe here, but hopefully you all get the gist of what I'm trying to say. I really appreciate all of you all watching. Make sure to leave your comments down in the comment section below. I always love hearing your opinions and interacting with you guys, so please make sure to do that. Also, please make sure to leave a like on this video to show some support. It helps out an absolute ton, more than you all would ever know. Thanks again, guys. Peace out.